In this video series, we are going to study science chapters of grade 10 SEE exams. Now we are going to study physics chapter light optics. Okay, now we are going to study an important topic, defects of vision. Okay, there are questions from defects of vision most of the time. So you need to study this topic very carefully, properly. Okay. Now, defects of vision means problem with eyesight. We have seen people having problem not to able to see distant object. Okay, some of the people cannot see objects which are kept close to the eye. Okay, so this way these are the problems. So in our syllabus there are two types of defects of vision: hypermetropia and myopia. Yes. Now before we go to the topic, we need to understand far point and near point. Yes, so near point is the nearest distance up to which our eyes can see clearly without putting strain. Okay, nearest distance up to which a normal eyesight can see clearly, that is near point. For a normal eyesight, near point is 25 centimeter. Up to 25 centimeter our eyes can see clearly, okay, without putting strain. You keep the object over here, you can see, bring it closer, up to this distance you can see clearly. And if you bring more closer, then there will be some kind of strain on the eye. Okay, that means up to this distance we can see comfortably, okay, without putting strain. So this distance is the near point. For a normal eyesight, near point is 25 centimeter. Okay, 25 centimeter away from our eye lens, right? So 25 centimeter is the near point. Near point 25 centimeter for a normal eyesight without any defect, right? Similarly, far point is the farthest distance up to which a normal eye can see clearly. Okay, so you can see far away objects. Okay, if these are taken farther away, you can see but extreme far we cannot see. Okay, so the farthest distance up to which our eyes can see clearly, that is the far point. For a normal eyesight, it is infinity distance. Okay, long distance away from 6 meters, okay, we can see, that is the infinity distance. Okay, for a normal eyesight, far point is infinity distance. Okay, so far point is infinity distance. Far point is infinity distance. Okay, so this way a normal eye can see the objects between near point and far point clearly without putting strain. Okay, so that is the capacity of normal eyesight. But if somebody has problem in seeing object between far point and near point and far point, okay, if a person cannot see objects kept in between near point and far point, then in that case there is defect. Okay, a person cannot see the objects kept in between near point and far point, okay, in a comfortable way, then that is the defect of vision, right? Okay, there is defect. So there are two kinds of defects, hypermetropia and myopia. In case of hypermetropia, it is also called long-sightedness. Long-sightedness, L-O-N-G, long means far away distance. Okay, in this case the person can see the object at the distance. Okay, at the distance, right? Long distance objects can be seen in this case. Far away things can be seen clearly, but close objects cannot be seen clearly, right? That means in this case the problem is long distance, far point is okay, no problem, right? It is working properly because person can see the far away objects clearly. But there is a problem with near point. In this case there is problem with near point because the person cannot see nearby objects. Okay, so 25 centimeter is not the near point for this person, that means. Okay, yes, this person can see the objects which are kept little bit farther away from near point. Okay, we have seen old people reading newspaper, okay, and papers and the books taking away from eyes. You have seen, no, that is hypermetropia, that is long-sightedness. Okay, so there is the problem. Similarly, in myopia, the close objects can be seen clearly, but far away objects cannot be seen. Okay, short sightedness means short can be seen, long sightedness long can be seen. Remember it this way. Okay, so in case of short sightedness, close objects can be seen, far away objects cannot be seen. That means in this case, short sightedness is okay, no problem, there is no defect, but there is defect in far point. Okay, there is defect in far point. So for this person, the objects kept at the infinity distance cannot be seen. Okay, the person cannot see the object which is far away at the infinity distance. So for this person, infinity distance, far point comes much closer. The person can see the object which is closer to the eye. Okay, far point not in infinity distance, but it is much ahead of infinity distance for this person, because this person cannot see infinity distance. Okay, yes, this is the problem. So these are defects of vision. So to define this terms hypermetropia definition, the defect of vision in which, here, the defect of vision in which a person can see far away objects but cannot see near objects. That is the definition, simplest way. Okay, the defect of vision. What is hypermetropia? Hypermetropia is the defect of vision in which a person can see far away objects but cannot see nearby objects. Finished. Okay, over here, myopia. What is myopia? Myopia is the defect of vision in which a person can see nearby objects but cannot see far away objects. A person can see nearby objects but cannot see far away objects. That is myopia, right? So these are the definitions. Yes, now you understood. So here you see, in case of a normal eyesight, the eyesight which is functioning normally, this is the condition. If you have to understand it through figure. Okay, here also, for a person with normal eyesight, this is the way of working. Okay, yes, in a diagrammatic way. Okay, this is the near point. Okay, near point is 25 centimeter from the eye lens, and the light rays are falling right on retina. Here the image is formed at this point on retina, and from this point the message is taken to the brain. Optic nerve carries the information to the brain and we see the object. Okay, so this is retina. The image is formed on retina right at this point. So the information is taken to the brain and we can see. And here also light rays are coming from infinity distance. Okay, yes, far point, which is far point, and the light rays are passing through lens and falling on retina after refraction, right? So the image is formed on retina, right, on retina. So from retina, optic nerve is carrying this information to the brain and the object is seen. Okay, so this is the normal functioning. This is also normal functioning. Near point is working properly, far point is working properly. Okay, but this is the defect case. In this case, in case of hypermetropia, light rays are coming from near point, okay, 25 centimeter away, but what is happening after refraction? Light rays are going beyond retina and they are falling behind retina. The two light rays are meeting at this point where image is formed. Okay, image is formed behind retina, right? Okay, not on retina, but it is farther away from retina over here. That is why this information cannot be taken to the brain to see the object. That is why the object cannot be seen. It is not falling on retina. Image is not falling on retina, right? This is going much longer. Long sightedness, long figure. You have to remember it this way. Okay, this is the defect. And here also you see light rays are coming from infinity distance, far point. Okay, but the light rays after refraction not reaching retina. Okay, these are meeting much before retina. Yes, so image is formed over here, not on the retina. That is why the image, the information cannot be taken to the brain. Yes, so the object cannot be seen. Okay, it should fall over here, but it is not falling on retina but much ahead of retina, right? So this is the problem. Yes, far point is not working in this case. Here near point is not working in this case. This is the problem, right? So if you happen to get this type of question, if you see shorter one, short sightedness, if you see longer one, long sightedness, right? You have to remember it this way. So you see for this person what is happening over here is near point is going away from retina. It is much longer. Yes, that is why the near point of this person hypermetropia, the person has hypermetropia, near point comes much behind over here. Okay, this is defective near point. If the near point is brought over here, end as defective near point. If this point is brought over here, then the light rays will fall right on retina. Okay, in this case person will be able to see. Okay, so the near point is not 25 centimeter in this case. For this person, the person with this problem, near point is not 25 centimeter. It is longer than 25 centimeter for this person. Near point becomes longer than 25 centimeter, more than the normal case. Okay, so here also you see the person cannot see far object. Okay, for this person infinity distance should come much closer. If the infinity distance is brought much closer, then light rays will fall on retina. Okay, so the person can see. Yes, instead of infinity, if the object is brought much closer, then this light rays will fall on retina. Okay, so for this person defective far point is not infinity distance. It is much closer to the eye, somewhere over here. Okay, yes, so defective far point, defective far point, right? So this is the problem. So defective near point, defective far point. Understood, no? Now the causes. What are the actual causes of the defect? Number one, you see for hypermetropia, the problem is focal length is becoming longer. Eye lens. This is eye lens and its focal length is becoming longer. That is why it is going beyond retina. It is becoming much longer than retina. Focal length has become longer. That is the problem. Okay. And ciliary muscles, the function of ciliary muscles is to stretch the eye lens. Okay, it stretches eye lens to make thick or to make thin according to the condition required. Okay, so the ciliary muscles fail. It cannot stretch, it cannot contract the lens to make it thick, so that focal length becomes shorter. Okay, ciliary muscles cannot make the eye lens thick to make focal length shorter, to decrease the focal length. Okay, ciliary muscles cannot make the eye lens thick by stretching. Okay, to decrease the focal length. Ciliary muscles could not decrease focal length over here. Okay, yes, so that is the case. And number two is, okay, if you see that side it will be clear. At the same time over here the eye lens is much thick and the focal length has become shorter. This is eye lens and its focal length has become shorter. Okay, that is the problem. So ciliary muscles cannot make the focal length longer. Yes, cannot make the focal length longer by stretching. Ciliary muscles fail to stretch the eye lens, okay, to make it thin, so that the focal length becomes longer. Okay, the problem is shorter focal length over here, shorter focal length. Okay, because the eye lens has become thick, it cannot be made thin. Okay, because ciliary muscles cannot stretch the eye lens to make it thin, right? That is the problem. Now number two problem, there are two causes. Number two cause in this case hypermetropia is eyeball gets contracted or shortened due to some physiological conditions, some body conditions, some diseases. What happens is eyeball becomes smaller, it gets contracted or it becomes shorter. Okay, so as a result, what happens? Focal length of the lens becomes longer. Eye lens itself has contracted, so the focal length is becoming longer. So in this case, eyeball gets enlarged. Some physiological conditions, some body conditions, diseases make the eyeball larger, okay, enlarged, okay, elongated, and as a result, the focal length of the eye lens get shorter, right? So these are the causes. Understood? Now you see here, over here, be very careful while writing causes. Number one, eye lens became thin, more thin, so that the focal length became longer. Yes. So ciliary, how will you write is ciliary muscles? This is the language. Ciliary muscles cannot make the eye lens thick to decrease the focal length. Okay, this is the language to write. Number one, cause of hypermetropia. Number two, cause of hypermetropia is eyeball gets contracted. Eyeball gets contracted. Contracted means shortened. Okay, contracted or shortened. This is for hypermetropia. And for myopia, long-sightedness, long. And for myopia also use the same language so that it will be easier for you to learn. Myopia, short-sightedness. Okay, I am writing these words also so that it will be easier for you to remember. Number one, ciliary muscles cannot, use the same language, cannot make the eye lens thin. Here is thick, now here is thin. Okay, to increase the focal length. Here is decrease, now you write increase. To increase the focal length. Increase the focal length. Okay, and number two reason is, here is eyeball gets contracted, that side eyeball gets enlarged. Okay, eyeball gets enlarged. Enlarged means bigger, right? So elongated. So these are the reasons, causes of hypermetropia, and this is myopia. Now in the next part we'll see remedy of defects of vision.